So yesterday we found angles in circles rather, and today we're going to find segments. So we're going to look at the same pictures, but instead of looking the arcs and the angles, we're going to look at the segments. Now again, I should have said yesterday too, you don't need to memorize any of these formulas. And you'll have a formula sheet where you can recognize the picture in the formula. And this is going to make more sense to us at the end of all the formulas. Point to circle, point to circle, point to circle, point to circle. The point we're always talking about is where the segments cross. So here is like the point in this one. And this one's going to kind of remind me of cross multiplying. A times B equals C times D. Well, maybe I'll do it in red. C times D. A times B equals C times D. Or here, 6 times 4 equals 8 times x. It's kind of like a little mini cross multiply question. X is 3. And so if x is 3, do you agree that 8 plus 3 would give me this whole segment, or 11? It's actually nice. It's actually not that bad, right? 9 times x, you could do it in 2 colors if you want, equals 6 times 6. The only mistake that people make is sometimes they mess up like the orders, so like putting like those segments in kind of helps me. 9 times x equals 6 times 6, or x is 4 here. And similarly the last one, 4 times x equals 8 times 5, 4x is 40, x is 10. So that's chord. A times B equals C times D. The next one's that secant picture. And here I say it in one of 2 ways. It's either going to be E times F equals G times H, or sometimes I just use the words short times long equals short times long. Short times long equals short times long. What do I mean by that? Well, the short segment goes from the point to the circle, the short way, versus the long segment goes the long way. Oops. Here on this side, this is the short segment and this is the long segment. Now sometimes you have to add up the two, like 7 plus 5 and number 4 to give me the long segment. But if I'm going to do my equation, short times long, so 6 times x, equals short times long, and the long is 12. The long is not 7. People will think it's 7, but you have to do the whole entire thing. X is 10 here. X is 10. And then how would I find CD? Yep, back from the beginning of the year, the 2 little segments add up to the big segment, so CD is 4, 6 plus 4 is 10. Again, in number 10, I'm going to add 10 plus 2 to get the long segment. Short times long is 2 times 12 equals x times 8. Or 24 equals 8x, or x is 3. Short times long, short times long. We have a star by this one, it's a little bit harder. Short times long here is 6, so 2 times 6. But here, the long, we don't know the x, so the long is actually x plus 3. 3 times the parentheses x plus 3. So we haven't seen the distributive property in a while, but it's something that we know. If I subtract 9 from both sides, I get 3, and then 3 times 1, of course, is 3. So that one's a little tougher. Almost done. You've almost made it. Here's the last one. This one is a similar looking picture, and the formula is R times S equals T times T. Or I say short times long equals short times short. Short times long equals short times short. R times S here is going to be x times 12 equals 6 times 6. Or 12x is 36, or x is 3. And then to find this missing side, of course, 3 plus 9 equals 12. Short times long equals, or like the 2 little segments rather add up to the big segment. The big segment in number 8 is 16. Short times long is 9 times 16 equals x times x. By the way, these are all going to come out to be perfect squares, so no worries there. And actually, if you don't get a perfect square, you might have made a mistake. Like some people will say 1 times 3 equals x times x. It's short times long. 1 times 4 equals x times x. X is 2. So on the homework, again, you don't have to memorize the formulas. We give them to you in chunks. It looks pretty much like this. And yeah, that's it. Short times long, short times short, short times long, short times long. A times B equals C times D.